Hi everybody, it's Diane, back for part 2 of the photo collages I started. Scan or copy a photograph. He does say old black and white photos are always interesting to play with, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an old photo. But that is what I was using. So anyway, this is where we left off. I have these three. 1, 2, 3. So let's just grab one and start. This one, I needed a little filler. I put this up here. I think I was going more this way yesterday. Yeah, it is a new day. But anyway, for anyone who's watched my videos for any length of time now, you're probably thinking, she's going to say, this area bugs me. And yes, it does. And yes, you're right. I fussy cut some flowers, which I had said in yesterday's video, I wanted to try to make them more like his and not so, I don't know how to describe it. I add a lot more accessories and details like these flowers, and he does not. But that's just too boring to me. But I did not glue them down because I thought maybe I want to paint. So that's that one. Of course, I grabbed everything except the paint. I've got water, I've got my stuff, I've got some extra tissue and stuff sitting here. I forgot to grab the colors of paint. Okay, this one, I cut these out. I'm not overly wild about those, but I thought I might hit them with paint. And I filled in with just some other book page stuff there. And this is the one I was going to go across with this dark. I decided it was too much, but I may paint dark in that area. Okay, the big one here, I just filled in with some extraneous book stuff, and I put a little tissue over here. This one I thought, though, maybe just more gesso, and I have that here. And I did not put any, detail, flowers, etc. on this one as of yet. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm not sure if I want it. So, there. This is an awkward gap thing there. And I had thought, do I want some brown on this, to kind of look like the staining out in this area? I don't know. And this too, think about that while you're looking at this. Is it too dark? Is it too stark? Is it too something? Is it okay? Those are your choices. I think I'll spatter up here, but I want to cover these gents. I don't want to get their faces. Well, it kind of went that way, not so much on the picture. Usually I'm pretty good with spattering, but yeah, every once in a while it goes everywhere but where you want it. Okay, well, I think spattering over here now. I like that. Yeah, I think we need some brown. So I think that means dummy Diane is going to have to pause to get the paint. I thought I was being so efficient. Alright, well, as long as my dog barked, he's outside. I'll pause, I'll go get the colors of paint, and come right back. Okay, I have paint. I also just punched a scrap paper circle. I thought maybe of doing like a mask look. I don't know. I grab the brown. And I also grab some spools here if I want to do that. Yeah, I've got a little bit of bubble wrap, very little. So, yeah, so do something interesting with that. Well, let's try the bubble wrap. No, it's okay. I don't know that this was necessary, really. It was an interesting thought, right? What other colors do I have? Well, you name it, I probably have it, but I don't know. I was thinking, do we want a little more of a color up there? I don't think I want blue. I don't want yellow. Yeah, I don't want any of these. Can we invent some new ones? What's this? Red violet. Yeah, I think I'll do a little test. I'm not sure if I want this or not. A test on the side here. Well, it's basically purple. Yeah, who are they kidding? I'm not overly thrilled. I'm not going to make that darker. I don't like it that much. What's this one? True burgundy, as opposed to false burgundy, I guess. No, I don't like any of my colors. Well, okay, what about white? We'll try that. I'll try a spool. Alright, we gotta bulk it up here. It's not going to work. There. Well, that didn't work anyway. Okay, well, we're definitely getting grungy. What about some brown spatters? Yeah, I've got stuff all over my paper, just a sec. There. It's kind of cool. Alright, let's clean up the brown spatters. They're easier to see, at least. Well, I think this one is pretty darn close to being done. I'm going to set it aside and let that dry, and we'll continue with another, this one. Well, like I said, I kind of like these flowers, but the colors weren't ideal. And I knew that when I put them on, but that's what I thought, well, could I do something to help that color? I think it's the green in there is kind of off. Where is that true burgundy? Here it is. Okay, I like that better than the green. I think it's a little loud. I think I'm going to wait for it to dry and then maybe add a little more gesso. Alright, what else do you people want? Do they want some pattern tissue? Let's see. Got a couple scraps here. I don't know, do they? They're not really telling me. I think so. Alright, now I gotta open the glue. I didn't know I was gonna have to glue today. Especially pattern tissue, my favorite thing to glue. I like that. What about up here? Waste not one, alright. Okay. Well, I think they could benefit from some spattering or schmutzing or something, don't you? But what about a color? Some white here. Let's cap up the brown. Okay. Down here. Pretty good. Let me hold it up for a minute. Or less. It's okay. I don't know. I know, I say I don't know a lot. Well, one, because I don't, but you know, you sort of like feel like you need to say something because I'm making a video. Yeah, normally when I'm not making a video, I don't sit here and talk to myself and go, I don't know. All right. Let me hold it up again. It's okay. I think maybe a little dark spatter up there just because it's so nothing. Well, do I want brown or do I want more like that purpley color? Well, I guess I could try it. You see from our little test, it's about the same. It's kind of cool. Now we've got purpley violet red splatters all over. Do we want any of that down here? What about a couple ring things in that? I think this paint needs some mixing. It's really watery. But usually I take like a wooden skewer if they need it and go around like that, but I didn't think to bring one of those up either. Alright, well I think it's like the other one. I'm going to let that sit and dry and we'll move on to the last one here. This area is bugging me thing, and I think this is bugging me that's not glued down too. Usually I'm pretty good about gluing, but every once in a while, sure enough, I missed an edge, or I didn't weight these. I probably should have, but they were taking, there's a lot here to glue really. So by the time I was, towards the end, I figured it was all set anyway. I didn't see much point in waiting it. Maybe I should have, I don't know. All right, well, remember those flowers are going to be on here. And those were okay. I wasn't necessarily going to paint over those. I have thought of adding blue there to look like a sky. And I'll stress half. I'm not totally sure if I like that idea. I know where to put this. Just a sec. Okay. Because there's blue there. This is probably too bright. Yeah. Did she bring up something to mix the color with? No. Yeah, I just don't have the space to keep all my supplies in one space. So I've got some paint and stuff in my basement, and I don't always think to bring everything up. It's better. I don't necessarily love, although it matches that pretty good. I was going to say love it, but it's better than the white, in my opinion, at any rate. Oh, I dripped on there. That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, in my Build Your Own Hero art journal page, I had dripped on a printer copy, and it does that. It kind of makes the ink run. So it's kind of cool. And I mean, I didn't mean to do it, but so I went around and did it then more intentionally. So it would look, well, I mean, I did it intentionally so that initial drip would look intentional. Anyway, it's kind of a cool look. Well, I think the blue is done. Yeah, I actually like this kind of ucky blue color. It sort of has the same effect as this, and I just sort of, I don't know, it looks nice and vintage, I think. And yes, it's lawnmower leaf blower season. I guess I don't need to tell everybody that, do I? Okay, well I can't glue this down, it's pretty wet. Now this one could benefit from a border, I think. But I have to let this dry too, so I guess I'll just wait for these to dry. I'll clean up my mess, and it's kind of a mess, and come back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. It's dry. I sewed around 2 of them. This one I think is done. I didn't, back and forth messy stitching around. I did not go over the flower. I just didn't want to do that there. I think this one is done. I did some stamping down here. Okay, these other 2, especially this one, I did a little stamping here. I left this paper alone. I think it's okay. You could go over it with white, brown, but it's okay. But I wanted to edge it. I thought ink would not be heavy enough. So I'm going to go around with the brown paint. See if that's enough. I never did give sizes on these. Is anybody interested? Let's see a show of hands. Right, this one, I was going to do the same thing. Oh, I didn't cut my tails off the end of the bottom, back, whatever. Pretend those tails are cut off. I did the other one. Okay. All right. This is the largest. It's about 8 by 7.5. This one is about 5.5, 8.5, and this one is 7.5 by 7.75. Okay, so like I said, this one is done, definitely. I think this is done. I mean, the people are so faded. I just think more stuff, more color is just not going to work. You could sew around. I could have, but I didn't. I think this one is done too. I don't know. Maybe a stronger purple ring there is needed because there's really nothing here. All right, let's try mixing this a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. I should have done that before. Yeah, I think that's a little better. She's tinkering. Somebody stop her. All right, maybe a white one. I was going to get out of here and do a, 2-minute segment about, oh, this is what I did. And I think I'm done. And here we are. Yeah, that's better. All right, now I think I'm done. And I think I better get up this paint blob before it gets on something that I don't want it to be on. Okay. All right, well, ignore the thread tails. I think they're done. All right, let's look at his one more time. Since for me, this has been a long 2-day process. So use photos. Definitely scan them if you have the opportunity, then you still have the originals. So yeah, 47 folks. We're really coming down to the wire. There's 50 of these, so we're getting close. All right, well, thanks for joining me through all of these. I can't set that down. Those edges are still wet. Thanks again. Have a very nice day out there.